coming out today to celebrate Cleveland Public Library's partnership with United Way of Greater Cleveland and to officially launch United Way's 211 service at all Cleveland Public Library locations. Connecting Clevelanders to what services is one of the library's strategic priorities, from food to healthcare to legal service and more. We strive to connect people to resources and services that provide for basic needs. We are teaming up with the United Way of Greater Cleveland to ensure everyone has access to the services that they need. Now, I'd like to call up our Executive Director and CEO, Felton Thomas Jr. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Felton Thomas, CEO and Director of the Cleveland Public Library. I want to thank you all for joining us. I want to make one acknowledgement beyond our board president. We also have our secretary of our board, Mr. Tom Corrigan, who's with us. Please give him a round of applause. So this means a great deal to me. Around 6 years ago, I had a colleague, a staff member with the Cleveland Public Library. They called me out of the blue and said, "You're on the board of the United Way, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I just want you to know that yesterday I came home and my husband was there, very despondent, and he was, upset. And he told me that he had been thinking about suicide all day long. And I was just so happy that I came home at that time. But because I knew about 211, I called 211 and they helped us work through that. 6 years later, he's still with us. And it speaks to the importance that 211 and the knowledge of 211 is. It can be life-changing. It can be life-saving. Won't be that for everyone that we help in our libraries, but it certainly will be life-altering. So this is a great day for us here at the Cleveland Public Library, more people to the understanding of what 211 is, and make sure that we have more life-altering events in the city of Cleveland. With that said, I want to thank United Way, Augie, Napoli, who's the executive director, and of course, Paul Dolan, who's the board chair. I was thinking about how to bring Paul up, and I'm sure Paul has heard we're ready to make this a home run. We're looking for how we can knock this out of the park. But I just felt like I should ask that. I just want to bring up Paul Dolan, someone who really cares about the city of Cleveland and works hard on that every day of its work. So thank you, Paul. I'm bringing you up. Paul Dolan, CEO and board chair of the United Way.
Thanks, Felton. World Series championship would have been good like that. Really, on behalf of the United Way of Greater Cleveland Board of Directors, it's really an honor to be here today to celebrate today's event. For more than 100 years, United Way's mission has been to raise awareness about poverty in Cleveland and to create solutions and programs to help alleviate its generational grasp on our citizens. If we've learned anything over those 100 years is that we can't do it alone. In order to be successful, we're going to have to work together. And this event today is an example of the power of partnership. I know how tirelessly our teams have worked, the team at 211 and Cleveland Public Library, how tirelessly they've worked to make this opening a reality for anyone who wants to come to this branch or eventually all Cleveland Public Library branches and who are in need of any kind of resource or support. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit us all a year ago, March, the United Way's 211 team has served as a lifeline connecting our citizens in need to the needed resources and support to provide food, shelter, vaccination assistance, help with employment. And those needs remain ongoing. Felton's remarks certainly highlight the ongoing need for 211 services. So many of our callers contact United Way's 211 on really one of the darkest days of their life. They're hungry, they're facing eviction, they're in the midst of crisis. And it's United Way's navigation specialists who respond to those callers and let them know that there is light, there is hope, and most importantly, there are resources available to them to help them get through their own personal crisis. So I want to take this moment to personally thank the members of our 211 team who are with us today for their tireless efforts. Michelle Snowden, Suzanne Naftanel, Rob Black, Franco Formicelli, and Andrew Kasutin. Thank you very much for your tireless efforts, your dedication to those in our community most in need. Your work goes, not only does it go unnoticed, but it goes fully appreciated. So thank you very much. So with that, now I'd like to bring Augie Napoli to the podium. Augie is our president and CEO.
I'm taking my Best Buy Tech Center mask off. This was made in there by the students that come in, and I just thought it matched the suit, and what a wonderful feature this is at this library. What a remarkable story it is. I appreciate, Paul, your introduction and your words, and I also want to thank Maritza for all that she's doing. And Felton, of course, not only is the executive director of the Cleveland Public Library, but an esteemed colleague on our board of trustees. We're so proud to partner with Felton in so many ways, and this is yet another example of it. You know, we share a common mission with the Cleveland Public Library, and it is to put opportunity within the reach of everybody. Everyone connect Clevelanders with essential services, everyone who needs services, that we can do that. And that's what the Cleveland Public Library does as well. You know, we're proud of our long-standing partnership with the Cleveland Public Library. It goes back really almost to the beginning of our founding as an organization, the oldest United Way in the United States, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. The expansion here with 211, service that's going to be in every Cleveland Public Library. And wow, what a remarkable occasion that is for us. I'm so proud of that fact that we're partnering in this tangible way, because I believe that wherever people gather, they should have access to help if they need it. And I'm certain that the folks that walk in, many of the folks that walk into the libraries, just like they walk into other places throughout the community, are looking for help. And where better to come than the Cleveland Public Library? And where better to find help than through 211 within that library? So we're pleased and proud, and honestly, Felton, thank you very much for your generosity in doing that. You know, there's no doubt that our community has suffered greatly over these past months, and I can hardly even speak of it anymore because we've spoken about it so much. But the folks that have been living and suffering prior to the pandemic under the thumb of poverty, it only was exacerbated by that pandemic. And we're just, really heartbroken, but we're very hopeful. Heartbroken that they had to suffer even further, but hopeful that with help like this and like this in many other ways, we'll be on the road to recovery very quickly. So to Maritza, Felton, Tom Corrigan, and the whole board of trustees at the Cleveland Public Library, as well as Paul Dolan on our board of trustees. Paul's leadership has really helped us to break out into many ways. We're becoming a place-based organization. And here we are in a place that's very important to serving this community. So, Paul, thank you. And to everyone here today, appreciate your support and appreciate you coming out with us today.
Good morning. I'll be your final speaker for the morning, I believe. My name is Steve Capuzzo. I am the branch manager over at the Jefferson branch in Tremont, which is currently closed for renovation. So I am filling in here at the lovely Rockport branch for a few months. So I am here to represent the public service side of our organization. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you goes out to the United Way of Greater Cleveland's leadership and staff, and also all the staff and leadership here at Cleveland Public Library that have made this program possible. Lots of people worked on this. John Skirdick was the lead, I believe, and Michael Dalby. A lot of work went in putting in all these extra telephone lines, so we're very excited to have this service at our disposal. Every day people come into our branches, the Center for Learning, to discover, to learn, and to seek answers. United Way's 211 phones are just one more way that Cleveland Public Library helps our community access the resources they need. Our staff can provide one-on-one, on-the-spot assistance to patrons at any one of our 27 locations, plus our main library downtown. We're here to help, and the United Way's 211 team is making that even easier to do with the availability of these phones in every library location. Cleveland Public Library has no shortage of resources for our community: print, electronic, digital, the whole gamut. Having these 211 phones available for our patrons to use is just one more tool in our tool belt. So we're very excited to have this these phones available to help our patrons. Think we're now on to the ribbon cutting portion. So we're gonna come up, I think.
So we want to thank everybody for coming. We have cookies and water and an opportunity for us to talk a little bit about the I just want to thank everyone. We had this up kind of like a soft opening a couple of weeks ago, and already we got a situation in our library is basically have a power outage, and the number of communities on this weekend get power. Able to call someone, so thank you again. We appreciate it, and we look forward to what you're doing. And